Welcome back to Gruber Motor Company, the auto shop of the future. I'm Pete Gruber. This is a story with many twists and turns, but the bottom line is that we seem to have discovered the world's fastest first-generation roadster with an experimental Mutant drive motor which accidentally remained in the car when it got sold. It all began innocently in August of 2019 when a Tesla Roadster owner called me trying to sell us his bricked or dead battery car. In 2019, these were the dark Roadster days, just after Tesla had stopped a replacement battery production due to engineering problems. With no drive battery replacement solution on the horizon, many owners were dumping their dead Tesla Roadsters, fearing that they could no longer drive their cars once the batteries reached end of life. This particular owner had called us a number of times over the previous months, unable to unload his dead bricked Tesla Roadster. We were not looking to buy another dead or bricked Roadster, but finally felt sorry for him since he was unable to get rid of his car and reluctantly purchased Roadster VIN number 581. We're used to buying totaled Roadsters for parts, and we knew it was going to be a difficult decision for us to ever part out this fully intact Roadster, preferring to put it back on the road someday, provided a replacement battery solution materialized. The owner also mentioned that it was most likely a low mileage car, and since it had been dead for some time, he estimated around 20,000 miles. The reason he was unsure about the mileage is that a Tesla Roadster with a dead battery no longer reports mileage, or anything for that matter. Later, we discovered that this 10-year-old plus Roadster, VIN 581, has only 8,500 miles on the odometer. He also mentioned another odd detail, saying that it had a one-of-a-kind Mutant experimental drive motor, a disclosure I completely forgot about since the car sat in storage for about 2 years. When we were finally resurrecting this Roadster with a donor battery pack, an odd post appeared on a Facebook site. The reason we chose to finally put VIN 581 back on the road is that our power electronic module, or PEM, rebuild team, which usually receives the entire Roadster when this large electronic assembly is rebuilt every 10 years or so, only receives the PEM removed from Roadsters outside the USA, since shipping a whole car across the ocean is cost prohibitive. So we needed another Tesla Roadster test mule to road test this drivetrain assembly. So getting back to the odd Facebook post describing this VIN 581 Roadster up on our lift getting a battery replacement, this post came out with this interesting tale about this particular Tesla Roadster. Here is the post from an admin on this Roadster Facebook site. Last night, someone asked to join this Roadster Facebook group, and they answered one of the qualifying questions with a Roadster VIN number. It was a VIN I know very well. So, I private messaged her and asked her what color it might be because I did not know it had sold. To my surprise, she said midnight blue. Wait, I thought. Then I asked her how long she had it. She replied 2 weeks. I didn't tell her why I asked her so many questions, but this Tesla Roadster has a unique story. The original owner bought Tesla Roadster VIN 75, and it ended up being wrecked at the Lotus facility in the UK before even being shipped to the USA. He still wanted it, so they fixed it up at the Lotus plant and shipped it to the USA for final assembly. Once again, it got smashed in the US before he was able to take possession. The customer then decided that he no longer wants VIN 75, and it went to Dubai instead, where it eventually ended up with a dead propulsion battery, rendering it bricked and undrivable. Tesla then gave this customer who had prepaid VIN 75 Roadster VIN 581, our Roadster. One day, this customer brought this Roadster into a Tesla service center for service. He continues, "It was so quick it scared the hell out of all of us, so we got a stopwatch and clocked it. It consistently ran 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, which is almost a second faster than a normal Roadster. He continues, "We then called Tesla Corporate for an explanation and found out that the drive motor in this Roadster was experimental, hand-wound tighter than normal. Corporate Tesla then told us to swap out the power electronics module which drives this drive motor to confirm it was the drive motor causing the increase in performance. Sure enough, it turns out that the increase in performance was indeed this experimental Mutant motor." At this point, it sounds like something may have escaped the Tesla R&D lab, perhaps not intended for release, and corporate Tesla then asked the customer if they could have this experimental motor back. For whatever reason, this customer declined to allow them to take the motor back, choosing to keep this unusual performance motor in the car. The final part of this Facebook post about our VIN 581 Tesla Roadster was that a Cynthia Romero had just inherited this Roadster from her uncle in Phoenix that had just passed away, and she was joining the Facebook Roadster group to learn about her car. Now, I was really curious, and like Mark Twain, who was famously quoted as saying, "The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated," I also was surprised to hear that I had died and willed one of my cars to someone named Cynthia. How did our Roadster end up in this Facebook story? Well, the Roadster Facebook site on which we found this post has recently been taken over by one of our competitors, obsessed and envious of our success, who has been waging a war of spreading misinformation, outright fabrications, and peddling to the unsuspecting members of this Roadster Facebook group. He has been systematically killing our employees' memberships to this previously open Facebook site, in which they had been contributing for some time, providing free tech support, adding value to the Tesla Roadster community, chatting with their friends, which were often friends and customers. As their membership was terminated one by one, Luca, our service supervisor, called this competitor, now running the site, and asked why he was terminated without cause. The reason he was given was that he works for Gruber, and that this was now a war. When Luca pointed out that he was providing value and expertise to the community, the line went dead. So the following morning, I had a staff meeting, and I asked the members how our new test mule VIN 581 Roadster ended up suddenly belonging to a Cynthia Romero, and this tale about the owner's death. One of our technicians quickly fessed up, and it was the same one working on the Roadster. He admitted his membership had been unceremoniously terminated on a Facebook site without cause. To maintain some visibility on this site, he asked his girlfriend to join, Cynthia Romero, and use one of our VINs in the qualifying questions so he could continue to have access to see what his friends and customers were doing. To set the record straight, I posted on another Roadster Facebook site that GMC owns this Roadster, not Cynthia, with pictures of the Roadster in our shop, and that we will be doing a reverse engineering process on this Mutant experimental motor. I could not post this correction on the original Facebook site where this post was first published, since my membership on this site had also been canceled because I work for Gruber. I reached out to some of the current and ex-Tesla employees for more details about this experimental Mutant Roadster, and so far that trail ends. Once this video is released and becomes visible, more details will most likely emerge. I also reached out to the original owner to follow up on that obscure reference he made about the Mutant motor when we bought the car, only to find that sadly he had passed. Tesla Roadsters notoriously often have a backstory. These are not your average Chevys and Fords or Nissans. Stories abound. Celebrity ownership is common, and the Roadster ownership history is often rich with intrigue, sometimes mirroring a Greek tragedy. This is what makes these early Teslas so special cementing them in history and at the forefront of the broader EV revolution. We are very proud to have this unique Roadster in our stable, and will continue our tradition of reverse engineering to improve the original product and support the larger Roadster community. Stay tuned as we dig into what magic may be contained in this Roadster, and what exciting aftermarket enhancements may become available from this one-of-a-kind Roadster. Here's a picture of this experimental motor that Tesla attempted to retrieve. Since there are very few Roadster people left at Tesla from this early production time, we are hoping that the markings and names on the QC sticker may spark some responses from either current or ex-Tesla employees, helping us solve the mystery of this mutant motor design. Please contact us with any information at ev@gruber.com. I'm Pete Gruber, and as always, we appreciate your support of our channel, and let us know how we can improve it even further. Thank you.